This video is going to be about how I break in a motor. Now let me start with a disclaimer. Everybody's going to have a different way. But if you watch enough videos, you're going to see similarities that are going to give you results in the long run. Whether you're looking to get to the track quick or a long life bashing motor. Here's how I do it. First thing I do with any new motor is I put the nitro engine heater on the head before I even install it in the car. And when you press the button, it heats for about 10 minutes. I'll wait for a 10-minute cycle to stop, and then I'll start a second 10 minutes. So you got 20 continuous minutes of heat on the motor. Make sure your piston is at bottom dead center, and that you have some after run oil, 3-in-1, something in there. Keep it lubricated. After that 20 minutes, I'll let the engine completely cool down, all the way down to room temperature. And I'll do that heat cycle 5 times before I even start the motor or install it. To me, what that's doing is there's different metals inside your motor. There's aluminum, brass, there's chrome plating. And what that's doing is getting all those metals used to expanding and seating together without any stress involved. If you can imagine, the first time your motor sees heat is under the stress of running. To me, that's not ideal. So I'll do those 5 heat cycles just to get the metals used to heating up, expanding, seating. Then my first tank, again, use this nitro engine heater. There'll be a link in the description to this heater. Put it on the head once it's in the car and everything's ready to go. Again, I'll do 2 cycles to make sure the engine's all the way up to temp. And I'll leave this on the whole time the car is running. We'll monitor the temp with this heat gun. These can be gotten at Harbor Freight, Amazon, just about anywhere. Ideally, you want to keep it above 200 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. Now, I break in motors for 2 different purposes. One would be track use, and one would be for long life bashing. For track use, what I'll do is I'll idle 4 tanks the same way, with the head heater on, keeping it at 200 degrees, at an idle or low throttle, whatever it takes to hold that 200 degrees under the head heater. After that 4 tanks, I will do another 4 tanks, quarter throttle or less, figure 8s in a parking lot. That's on the throttle, off the throttle, a couple seconds each time. And what that's doing is slowly letting the engine get used to having stress put on it. After the first 4 tanks where I idle, next 4 tanks where I run it super slow, I'll do 2 tanks where I'm at 50% throttle, and 3 or 4 seconds on, 2 seconds off. After that, I'll do another tank where I bring a bass track tune in and run it around, not wide open, 3/4. After that, I'll bring it to a track, run a tank still rich, and then slowly bring it back into the track tune, so where you're ready to race. Now, if I'm doing a long life bash motor, especially if it's a high quality like Nova Rossi motor or LRP, everything will be the same except the first 4 tanks will do a quart. However many tanks that equals to, we'll do a whole quart sitting on the stand, just idling. Then I'll do a whole quart at 25%, figure eights in a parking lot. 2 seconds on the throttle, 2 seconds off the throttle, just letting it heat cycle itself slowly and gently. Then from there, go all the way up to a gallon, so that the next half gallon, however long that takes, keep it around 50% or less. And what that's doing is establishing a long-term way for that motor to seat and wear into itself. And that's going to give you a long life. Certain motors, certain Nova Rossis, like to have another gallon of just don't beat the hell out of it. And then you can plan on having a long life with that motor. I want to talk about what glow starter I use as well. If you're looking for a glow starter, I can get it to focus in here. It's going to give you all day battery life. I prefer lipo. Dynamite makes a lipo driver here. 4.44 watt hours. It lasts a long time. Comes with a handy charger. Just plug it in the wall, charge it overnight, the night before you're going to run, and it lasts all day. I've been using one for about 2 years now and have had no trouble with it. Really a great product, and the link for that will be in the description as well. So I won't bore you with actually running this car. I'm sure you don't want to see it idle, but I just wanted to let you know how I do a break-in. I've been in this hobby for 30 years, 25 of which have been running nitro cars. 10 years of that are heavy into A-scale racing, so let me know if you have any questions. You can ask in the comments below, or you can email me, planbrc@yahoo.com. Have a good day.